What's up, friends and professionals? Welcome to the Modern Lending Lab Live. I'm Alec. Good to see you. Happy Tuesday. Is it Tuesday? No, whatever day it is. Yes. Look, the days are blurring. Okay, that's just what it's like in summer, end of summer. God bless all you parents out there hanging tight. Got a week left to school, or what? One more week before school. I don't know. Who cares? Today, the 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 show that's taken the world by storm. K-pop Demon Hunters. I have to tell you, I was hysterically shocked when I saw this show become so virally popular. K-pop Demon Hunters, like I'm a nerd. I'm here for a good like anime, some good like cartoon stuff. If you haven't seen the Spider-Man Beyond the Spider-Verse stuff, it's incredible animation, great storytelling. I'm here for it. I'm in. K-pop Demon Hunters. So I was traveling with the fam. This show's now blowing up. It's exploding in my TikTok feed. I just only saw K-pop Demon Hunters everywhere. And so I was like, you know what? I've got to dig into this. And so I downloaded it for a flight solo. That's right. Yeah. And I remember my son was sitting next to me looking over and being like, what are you watching? And I'm like, shh, this is incredible. Besides the themes of redemption and belonging and some of the universal themes that this movie does really well, what we have to talk about it today. And by the way, I know I'm a total caricature because this is live on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is there's just jokes about how like associating random weird things to like what I learned growing a SaaS product. I know that's all that LinkedIn is. So I know I'm part of that joke right now, but we got to have to do it because K-pop Demon Hunters has been on repeat at my house with my 11-year-old, who's gonna be 12 soon, and my 14-year-old. We've been jamming to the music, singing out loud. I don't even care. It slaps, as the kids say. But here's what we have to talk about and why it's relevant to you today, and why we're doing this ridiculous thing about K-pop Demon Hunters. First of all, go see it, enjoy it. It's culturally relevant. It's hysterical. Like I mentioned before, it has universal themes that a lot of us connect to: belonging, redemption, connectivity. All great themes. I'm not going to ruin anything if you haven't watched it yet. Go be a kid again and enjoy it. But here's what we really have to talk about and why it's relevant. What I love about K-pop Demon Hunters is it's incredibly original to it and true to itself. It's exactly what you think. It's K-pop singers who are saving the world from a demon invasion with the power of song. It's unbelievable how ridiculous that sounds when you describe it. And yet when you watch it, you're going to be bopping along, singing to it. It's going to blow your mind because, number one, obviously the talent is incredible. The singing, the animation, the storytelling is great. I feel like they ripped it off. They shrunk it too big. Sequel's coming. There better be a sequel. But here's why you have to pay attention to why the relevance of this blowing up as it does to you as a localized modern salesperson and why this is relevant. This show is exactly who it tries to be. It doesn't try to be anything else. It's original. It's fun. It has humor. It doesn't try to teach anything outside of what I would call like the human message. And here's the parallel. I get 1,000 different excuses when I talk about content strategy, putting yourself out there, showing up in places where humans are to bring your product, services, your solutions, to bring some positivity and energy. I get a ton of excuses, and those excuses all have very similar veins. I don't like what I look like and sound like. Imposter syndrome. I'm afraid I'm going to say something dumb. This is not me. I'm not an expert. Who am I to put my voice out into the world? And those excuses are all layered on top of each other, and they're very similar at the end of the day, which is a worth issue. I don't feel like I am worthy to go out and share what I have in this public setting. I can do it one-to-one. I can do it face-to-face. Sometimes I can do different things. And it all reminds me of a moment in my career that was impactful and pivotal. And that moment was when I was 23 years old and I had driven up. Many of you have heard me say this before. I drove up and I saw in an open house the best #1 realtor in the marketplace in Orange County. And they were inside the house. And I had never met them before. And I needed to go in and just shake their hand because I knew that if I met them and built a relationship with them over time and had and earned their business, it would change my life. And I drove away. I mean, I sat out in front of that house for 30 minutes trying to psych myself up to go introduce myself. But all of the insecurity, all the negativity, all of the you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, you don't know what you're doing, you've only been in business a year. How dare you even think you could walk into this professional's house? All that stuff was chirping away. It crippled me to the point that I drove away. Crippling insecurity drove away. Now, I had to deal with that demon and figure it out. The power of song, jock jams, didn't solve my problem that day. But that pivotal moment helped me go through a radical change of dealing with my insecurities, finding out, becoming more and more true to myself, and being able to put more of myself out there, which led to some great success as an originator and a salesperson, et cetera. So now this medium exists, this box on the internet where you're watching or we're hanging out or you're listening on a podcast. And this same medium is available to you today to go out and make influence and connection. But those same insecurities start chirping the second that you decide to try to put yourself out there and do some prospecting, put your service and sales and solutions out to the environment, the community. And so let me tell you a truth, and you can wrestle with this and find out what you think is true or not true in this statement. I have said this repeatedly, and I believe it now in my core, that there is a community. Sometimes I call it an audience, which feels a little cheap, but there's a community for everybody. And I want to break this down. I want you to pay attention and listen. I want you to really hear me when I say this, because the originality of this ridiculous show, K-pop Deman Hunters, is going to translate into this, and you'll see the connection point. So for a long time, in the early days of my digital brand experiment where I was putting myself out there, I really believed that you had to come with energy, enthusiasm, passion. You had to see it through the camera lens, or else your message was going to get drowned out. No one was going to pay attention. You had to really bring the energy and the enthusiasm to make any impact in this digital space. And then I remember having an aha moment when I was meeting more and more people who were putting themselves out there and realizing that that's not the correct answer. The correct answer is to put your authentic self into this medium as best as humanly possible. Track with me for a second. How many of you have done a personality profile test ever in your life? Right? I like the DISC profile test because it shows it's simple, DIS and C, 4 personality profiles. You have a dominant and a minor. But here's what I love about it as just telling the story. In the personality profile test, I am a DI, which surprises a lot of people who know that I'm an introvert, because the I is this outgoing, inspirational thing. And it's like, yeah, I do that stuff, but then I need a nap. Whereas my dad does that stuff and gets more pumped up and can go on for 17 days. But the D personality type is the driver. It's the person who is no small talk, all business. It's like, let's get, like, I'll remember one of my favorite experiences was a realtor who literally took out like a kitchen egg timer and hit it to 60 seconds and was like, tell me why I should work with you, and like put it on their desk. It's like ticking at my face. I was like, absolutely. Because I'm here for that. I'm not here for like, well, tell me about your family and your background. How many kids do you got? By the way, I love all that stuff. That's human connection stuff. But like in business, that's not the natural thing that comes out in my personality. If we got on the phone together, I'm like, what do you need? What do we got? What's next? Great. That's my personality type. So I've got this inspirational, big kind of, out there. And then I got this D, like, let's get down to business, make it happen. Let's go. So guess what kind of clients did really well with me? Those high D personality executive types who are like, I need a decision. What's my best course? Great. Let's go left. I have more stuff to do. Goodbye. Call me later. Let me know if my loan's good. They loved me. Realtors like that loved me because I didn't waste their time in their paradigm with small talk. It was just right to business. Let's go. Well, on the flip side of that, there's the S's and C's, and those personality types are collaborators and what I call the engineer-minded people. And so when you get into talk with those people, collaborators, they don't make decisions on their own. They make decisions in community. I married one, I know. Instead of like doing chores where I'm like, I got the garage, you do the guest room, we'll meet back and we'll divide and conquer. She's like, no, Alec, we're going to go together and do each room together, holding hands and talking about our feelings. And that's who I married. So 20 years of good decisions. But does that personality type in mine can be oil and vinegar? The same with an engineer. An engineer is like, Alec, I want you to break down every single line item on the 1003 and on the closing disclosure. Let's just go through it together and spend the next 3 hours looking at every line item. That's like my worst nightmare. I'm like, oh my God, I mean, I can do it. I did math in high school. I didn't like it. I got A's because I was told I had to, but I didn't like it because it's not a natural expression of my personality type. And then you get like the pure goofy people who just want to have fun, who realize they're not getting out of life alive, and they don't take it so seriously. It doesn't mean they don't care and they don't work hard, which is the thing that I would put my personality type on them, but they just have a different lens on how they view the world. All those people exist in the world today through many different flavors. And the greatest truth I can impart onto you today is that the more you're able to sit in your own originality, in your own like paradigms, in your own personality type, and realize that it's okay. And that there's a community of people who vibe with that all out there. And that the greatest opportunity you have is to leverage your originality to be out in community on these platforms, because it's not a weakness, it's a superpower. I had a killer chance to podcast with Gary Vaynerchuk. You can go watch it on my YouTube channel. I had two podcasts with him. One, but the second one we talked about is your uniqueness is your superpower. It's not what needs to be hidden. It's what needs to be expressed, because that's the thing that attracts the like-minded people. Let me give you another example. And again, the reason this ties into K-pop Demon Hunter in this crazy world is that this movie came out with such originality. It stood on its own 2 feet. This is who we are. This is what we're trying to do. This is who we. It didn't cater. It didn't pander. It just said we're here, and it embraced the fact that it's ridiculous. I mean, the main singing girls are ridiculous. They're like pounding ramen. They're hysterical. They're not. They're just themselves. And of course, I'm not going to get into the ruin of the story about like, acceptance and who you really are and all that stuff. That's great. There's stories in there. But the movie is just perfectly itself. And it captured, pop culture. But you are perfectly yourself. And although it's almost impossible to fully let go of the chirping in the back of your head and the things that say you're not good enough and the things that say, whatever, that's your superpower. And so just continue to step more and more into it, and you'll realize that you're going to attract the people that are attracted to who you really are. Let me say it a different way. By the way, Artistic Dar on YouTube. Yeah, go immediately watch it right now. What are you doing? Like immediately stop watching me and go watch this movie. All right. Have you ever done a transaction with somebody? I don't care what business you're in, and you're working with that person and it's just oil and vinegar. You just can't communicate effectively. And the friction is real and it's just painful the whole time. Oh my gosh, that's all of us. All of us have had that client, and we're trying our best to serve and help and support the client. But man, it just doesn't work. Like they're just upset and you're just trying to appease and they're just getting more upset and the whole thing. Yeah, understood. And then on the flip side, have you ever worked with somebody and it's perfect? Like they appreciate what you bring to the table. They appreciate your effort and your honesty and your everything you do. They're just grateful for the chance to work with you. And we've all had those clients too. That's a great example of attracting your tribe. All of us in business want more of this client that loves who we are and appreciates what we do, and less of the one where there's all friction all the time. How do you do that? Well, one of the best ways I've ever found is step forward authentically into this digital space, put yourself out there with your message and your purpose and your passion, and watch that tribe come collect into you. Let me give you more examples. I'm going to give you three archetypes on social media that I want to encourage you to step into. Number one, the engineer-minded, slow, methodical, intentional social media personality. And maybe this is you. Maybe you are the engineer. Maybe you think that people who talk too fast are snake oil salesmen. Maybe you feel like the world needs to slow down a tick, and humans will make better decisions if they're not rushed and they're not making flippant, like rash moves. I love you. You're perfect. Turn on the camera and talk about that. Make long form content. Explain every single line item on a closing disclosure. Be methodical in your explanations. Don't fall into the trap that everything has to be this short form, quick content. There are thousands and thousands, millions of people who are desperate for someone to actually explain real truths, not hooks and sound bites. So come into these platforms and do that. Now, I get it. Some of these platforms don't support super long form content. So take your content, deliver it in micro bites, but lead them to long form positions like a YouTube place where they can go and see all the information they're looking for. That's, and again, if you're not naturally like funny or flamboyant or out there or big personality, great. There are so many people that just want somebody reliable, trustworthy, can like to build relationships with, to work with. It's this insane. Stop putting the bias on top, being like, I have to be something else on social. Secondarily, if you are big and you have a big personality, bring it all out. Don't feel like you have to hide it. Don't feel like you have to put a cap on it because everyone says you're too loud, you're too aggressive, you're too. No, bring it all. Bring all the heat onto these platforms. It's going to attract those people who are into that personality all day long. You're going to find the clients who love and appreciate you for who you are, the more authentic you are. And then the last one, I used to absolutely tease people who followed trends, played with social media, and danced on TikTok. Man, I was such a hater. I was like, look, if you dance on TikTok, you're a joke. How can you call yourself a professional dancing on a social platform? You're a middle-aged man. It's bad when it's inauthentic. And I use this example all the time. Go find Grandma Nat on TikTok. Grandma Nat, N-A-T, baby. She's in Kansas, I believe. I always mess that up, Grandma Nat. I'm sorry. She doesn't even know I talk about her. Let's be honest. She's a realtor. And she busts a move on TikTok in her new listings. And it's hysterical. And I love it. And I'm obsessed. Why? Because when I watch her dance hysterically inside her listings, I immediately connect to her as a human being because I can tell this is exactly who she is in real life. That's who she is. No filter. She is out living her best life. And again, I know some people are like ridiculous, hate it, not going to work with this person, doesn't take her business seriously. And on the same side, you flip that coin over and there are thousands of people who are like, that's my realtor. I love her. She's amazing. I want to work with her tomorrow. The biggest lessons from K-pop Demon Hunters and the success of that movie in our world today is that it's a lesson in authenticity. It's a lesson in just being who you are and being okay with it, not trying to be something for somebody else or something outside of something else. The artists and the creators of that show built something that was perfect to what they wanted to build. Now, I know it got cut back and all that stuff, but you feel me on this, brother? Like, this is the game. The more and more you can be authentic to yourself and silly or fun or thoughtful or whatever is the natural expression. By the way, can you be multiple things? Of course. Like, I can tell right now I'm not bringing the normal fire that I always bring, and that's okay. It's Tuesday. I'm tired. I walked on a treadmill for an hour with a weight vest. I'm trying to drink coffee and get through the day. Like, that stuff's okay too. You can be thoughtful. You can be energetic. You can be silly. You can be a lot of different things. But as long as that's true to who you are, that's what's going to attract the audience. So this is the best, by far, the best marketing and social media advice I could ever give. Not about how to leverage short form content and hooks and all these things. It's about how you become more and more transparently authentic to your true self. How do you put yourself out there in this position of vulnerability, trying to ignore the demons and everything else that's coming at you to tell you you're not good enough, you're not worthy enough, whatever it is, all the lies, and just hang out with solutions and products and services that can help people. If you do that on a regular basis with your own personality shining through, oh my gosh, dude, the sky's the limit. The sky's the limit. Don't be somebody else. Be yourself. Be original. Now, I'll give you my last piece of advice because we're on the 18-minute mark and 19-minute mark. It's a process. It's a process. Are you going to be yourself the second you turn the camera on, or your shoulder's going to be back and your own silliness or your own humor? Is that going to come through in the second you start making content? Absolutely not. Give yourself some grace. Oh my gosh, what are we talking about? You think you're going to be just perfectly comfortable and balanced in your first video of all time, your first time putting yourself out there? No, you're going to be stiff and awkward and fine. But nobody really cares because everyone's so self-focused on themselves that they're not really even seeing all that in you. But what they are doing is they're connecting to a real human being who's putting themselves out there. They know how hard it is to get on the internet and put yourself out there. So hear me on this. It's a journey. It's a process. You're not going to nail it on day one, but on day 100, game on. So take a lesson from this movie that's captured, pop culture today. Be authentically yourself. If you're funny, be funny. If you're big, be big. If you're thoughtful and meticulous, be thoughtful and meticulous. If you dance in open houses, dance your ass off. And just realize that every day you put yourself in this opportunity is a chance to get better. It's a chance to let a little more of that out, a little more of that soul out. Because at the end of the day, the reward is a community of people who value what you do, who appreciate you for who you are, and who want to work with you because of this, all of this. It's the fight against commoditization. It's your tool. It's your one way to build a moat around the world that wants to say that what you do is replaceable by AI or technology, which we'll see. It's a fight. Go kick some ass. We'll see you on the internet.